we just wanted to start the show off by showing appreciation for everybody who has gone out and brought tickets during our general sale.
Thank you so
We love you guys
much.
so much.
The tickets are out there. They're for you, for us, to create an event together. If you did not know, if you weren't aware, Thursday the 7th, I'm not going to go through all the dates, but we're going to the Gold Coast.
We want to be quicker, that one. That one's on my go.
Yeah, we're going to Sydney. We're going to be in Gisborne at the War Memorial Theatre. We've got Hamilton's Clarence Street Theatre, Rotorua Sir Howard Morrison Centre, Wellington Michael Fowler Centre,
What up, baby?
Christchurch Town Hall, and Auckland Kiritikanawa, a theatre. We are going to be there with you guys, creating awesome memories and having a great night.
That's
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Let's do the show, baby.
It is the perfect time to stock up at Chemist Warehouse because they have their spectacular saving. It's on right now, gentlemen. And what better place to get your teeth sorted? Dental. Dental is the thing we talk about today.
Brush them teeth, baby.
Brush them teeth.
Brush them teeth.
Toothpaste, those little strips that you can put on your teeth to make them go white, all that kind of stuff. The electric toothbrushes. Brooke,
Those
you've
are
got
good.
one of
I've been
them.
rocking those, bro. They're great.
All available at Chemist Warehouse. Like I say, perfect time to stock up. Warehouse Spectacular Saving Sale is on now. Chemist Warehouse, proud sponsors of the morning shift. Mahi Monday with LDV. Built to help Kiwis work harder every day.
Let's push. Give me some. Let's go. Never fold. 10 toes down, baby. You know who it is. I'm trying to be like you, mother. Shush.
It's too late to turn back now.
The morning shift. Powered by Media.
Yes, kia ora, good morning, good evening, and everything in between. It's the LDV Mahi Monday, and we're here for our morning shifters from our misters.
He'll be right.
To our sisters.
He'll be right.
We back for another show just in case you missed us. So powered by Media. Rev those in.
Bro, wake up. It's Monday, baby. We're here to lock in. We don't clock in, bro.
We lock in, Shift Nation.
That's 100%. That's 120%. Stay blessed.
Don't stress.
We've got you covered like a sundress. Welcome to officially the #1 show. If you call down under your home, welcome to New Media, the People's Media.
Let's push.
Say no more. Take your shoes off at the door. Everything you want, nothing you don't. Real people, real talk.
And if we ain't #1 of the charts, hopefully we're #1 of your heart.
Let's get it, get it.
Hey, we back for another week.
We made it.
It's winter
What
where
up?
we're from,
What
but let
up?
me tell you, you don't have to just lie in bed, sleep through that alarm, go through
up
the
early,
day
baby.
looking at the sky, looking at the rain, feeling sad. We are alive. We woke up today.
We
Let's
are alive and wow, baby. We are alive and wow.
It is an LDV Mahi Monday. LDV's 7-year warranty, 7-year roadside assist, and 7-year warranty fitness checks. Real support for the long haul.
Hey,
That's it, baby girl. That's it.
that's he.
Love me the LDV. Hey, what is on the show for us today? Who was the MVP? MVP of your birthday.
MVP. Sorry.
Of your what? Birth
Yeah,
year.
it's supposed to be 3, but I was like, let's just get to the point.
Nah,
Of your-
1990, honestly, goated.
that's why
It's goated. Nah, it is.
I come back with you.
Brooke Rusco and Jordan River.
Bahakolo. Mark, I got yours too, baby.
Lean like a
I
cholo.
got yours too.
You mean people are still alive from when I was born?
Yeah, we had to go back. I said, go
Now
check.
they are we.
Go check
Straight
the
up.
archives, or go check the archives. That's on the show a little bit later, and then a guest is joining us. Ain't that right?
We have the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Christopher Luxon, on the show. We feel that it's just important to have a space where we can talk to the leader of New Zealand, Matua Mark.
Yeah, can we be completely honest with this? We understand that it's probably easier not to have our Prime Minister on the podcast because there will be people who never voted for him, who have been disappointed with what's happened to this country since he's been in power. And so sometimes it's easier just to duck and weave and just leave politics out of it. But I feel like it would be remiss of us not to be able to have this opportunity to pass on how I feel personally. I know it sounds a bit selfish, but also to have a discussion and have him on the show and build a rapport with clearly somebody who makes decisions. So yeah, it's not something we've done lightly, I think is the thing I wanted to get across in this piece.
100%. And
Yeah.
as long as we do this podcast and have this platform, I always want to talk with or have a space to talk with the leader of this country and what they're doing. And we'll be the first of many.
Yeah.
So that is on a little bit later on in the show. Got
Yeah.
that in there. Chicken today. I'll take care of the chicken because I found this out. I used my brain the other day and I went, poor Pongy. Oh, Poo. And I thought, if I have to know this, we all have to know this. So today is Monday, the 7th of July.
Talk about it.
2025, right? Which means we're over the halfway point of this year.
Yeah, we are. We are.
Which means we're a quarter of the way through this century. Which means from this point onwards, bro, we're closer to 2050 than we are the year 2000.
Hold up, though. It feels like that to me.
Oosh.
Do it?
It feels like that to me. 2000, we were 10 years old, bro.
Bro, I feel like 2000, I know it was a
We were
long
10.
time ago, but the fact we're closer now to 2050 than Y2K,
Are we 60 in 2050 or 50?
we're 50. We're 60. We're 60.
Damn!
We're 60.
Brooke, you might have to explain to some of our younger audience what Y2K was.
The year 2000. Hold on, let me take you back. Let me take you back to
Educate
December
these little youngins.
1999. That whole month. The stress, the anxiety that we had as a human race, not knowing whether or not we'd make it to the year 2000, because so many of us thought that the world was going to blow up. That it was going to hit 2000. This isn't a joke either. Like, Mark, am I right?
You're not
There
wrong.
was a genuine fear.
We didn't even have social media either, so this was really terrifying, right? The newspaper, the news,
Word of mouth.
word of mouth.
digitally, hear this. They used to think that the clock was only because it was always 1998, 1999.
Yeah,
They didn't.
999.
They didn't realize that it never been a 2. They didn't know if digitally we could actually
Can we get
change it
there?
into a 2.
And
Will
what
it ever
happens?
change?
And New Zealand's the first to see the sun.
Yeah, we were the guinea pigs.
So we were the, if
And
it's
now
going to
like,
go.
yous are going to blow up first.
Yeah, Mount Hikorangi, the sun coming up over. Oh,
Where were you? I can vividly remember where I was
I
in
can too.
1999.
Same.
I was
Like
on
New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, same.
Franket's Park in Wellington. It was packed
I
down
was in
there.
Snell's Beach.
You remember where you were? Mark, you remember where you were?
I had a massive job, guys. I haven't told you about this. So my friend, her parents owned a gift store. It was like a souvenir store in Gizzy, right? And it was in Treble Court in Gisborne. And my job was to run security. I literally was standing inside. And they had this medallion that was made of gold. It was a gold medallion. It was like 15 grand, which was heaps back then.
Oh, that's
and
heaps.
heaps in Gizzy.
You're looking, that's
And
like 200 these
this
days.
was the face of security. I was like 18 years old and I had to stand next to this medallion the whole
That's
day.
hot.
Yeah, that was what, and
Villain face.
And every night they used to have someone come in and grab it, and used to go put it into the safe that wasn't on site, and then bring it back. And I was the security there. But I had the night off, and I was up. Where was I? I was up. Yeah, I was in Gizzy. I would have spent that looking over the sunrise on the beach. I think it was Makarori Beach.
Doesn't like the Gizzy area get the sun first?
Totally.
As
Yeah,
well?
yeah. So I would have been the first to have seen the sun, guys, out of all of us. So-
I see
Probably
you, my boy.
anyone listening right here, I first saw the sun before all of you did in the 2000s.
That's my guy. I don't know why, man, but I was shooketh when I worked that out the other day. That's a fact I didn't want to know. But there you go. We're closer to the year 2050
Bring on 2050.
I'm liking getting old now.
than we are the year 2000.
I'm liking getting old.
I do dig that too, but I'm like, ugh.
Let's get into Daily Bread.
Daily Bread, brought to you by Bargain Box, New Zealand's most affordable meal kit. Nice.
That's right, guys. Daily Bread, breaking bread with the news of today.
Daily Bread brought to you by Bargain Box, New Zealand's most affordable meal kit. July 7th. That's 188 days deep into the year, 177 left to get her done.
Get her done.
It is Global Forgiveness Day today, where everyone has to forgive everybody. You're not allowed not to.
I feel like we had a forgiveness day the other day, and it's just like, it's getting confusing now. Too much forgiveness.
Yeah.
Too much.
I feel like the more forgiveness, the better. But hey, I
100%.
I'm going
If
to
you
do
can
it
forgive-
properly, intensely, once a year. You know,
only once.
just once.
Yeah.
Let
okay.
that mama go.
What about Tell the Truth Day today?
They've been
It's
doing
hard
that.
to do both though.
What, forgiveness and tell the truth?
I tell
Yeah.
the truth all the time. You guys are like, where's the Google article? Well, it's not true.
The real truth.
Daylight savings.
I'm trying to think, do I owe anyone a truth-telling
No.
moment?
It's always gaslighting me. Then if it's true, it's still a joke. It's true what I said.
Yeah, it's true.
See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what makes it. You climb on top of me and feel tall. All good. Just on the ground.
I won't be climbing on you ever. Anyway, Mark, as you were.
And happy International World Chocolate Day today.
Oh, favorite chocolate?
Ooh. Caramilk. Anything that's caramel.
Really?
Yeah, I love me. Blonde from Whittaker's. the blondie. What is it called? Is it blondie?
I think it might be. It might be blonde.
Yeah. I love that. It's like the caramel flavored chocolates. Always been my
I
thing.
want to lock in Snickers.
Snickers is
Snickers
good.
bars just always been solid for me.
I want to lock in
Pause.
Maltesers.
You like the Maltesers?
Love them. No, sorry.
like fake chocolate.
Favorite?
Scorched almonds.
Yeah, I like
Big
Snickers.
difference.
Scorched almonds. Yeah.
One's sort of like fluffy in the
I do like the
inside.
multi side.
Maltesers and popcorn hit, but people don't. They haven't had the scorched almonds and popcorn.
Ooh,
They're different.
Different. Scorched almonds. Lock in B. Scorched almonds.
And
Please.
finally, before I move on to you, Jordan, it is Nude Recreation Week. So if you wanted to, this has been the end of
Say less.
Nude Recreation Week. You've got 2 more days. This is the start of Nude Recreation Week. So you've got a whole week of just getting your clothes off and be recreational.
I think if there was a graph of like ultimate fears, like walking outside in public naked would be
Number one.
at the absolute top height of the graph. That is like,
But I
Well, I'm
swear
not
I'm with
buying
you,
tickets
Sid.
to the
Not
live show
happening.
then.
It is so far past.
Oh mate, I just could. I would. It's like I would move country and leave my whole family. If like
No, for real.
if it I would. I honestly would move to Japan and like buy one of them houses that they can't sell. There's population in that.
No, I
and,
swear-
and I just would never look back.
That fear is so far past all the other fears. I can't even see the other fears.
I'd
It's
rather
that far
fight a
ahead.
snake in Australia.
Right. I'd rather put a crocodile on a headlock.
Yeah, I'd rather dive in, do a manu in the Amazon with crocodile
Everything
and
around.
shark. Piranhas.
Then catch me walking down Ponsonby
You
with
ain't
nothing on.
gonna. Anyway, I'm glad that will never have to happen. Kia ora. Guys, Uganda has discovered over 31 million metric tons of gold, or valued at
Chances?
12 trillion.
Trillion.
Man,
I don't even know what that is, but I know it's a lot.
trillion.
Yeah, but like I
Makes it
don't
a lot
know
more
the
billion.
value of a trillion.
We're
Right.
talking about a discovery that could transform one of the world's poorest countries into an economic superpower overnight. Companies are already investing hundreds of millions, and Uganda's economy could grow by 15% annually. We love that for them.
We do.
How's it taking you so long to find it? That
Oh,
seems
man.
like a
resources
lot.
in the African
I
countries.
feel like some uncle that dig
Man.
there.
So many resources.
That
in
way.
Like
That way.
you know how Black Panther that was
Oh,
originated from the
Yeah,
African
Wakanda
nation.
forever,
Yes.
baby.
Yeah, and they always had that strong resource, and there's always that belief that Uganda's just proving it. Like that much gold.
They found
Yo.
vibranium, didn't they? They found the vibes. All right, mine today, my daily bread. Ladies, go easy on us. Men are dying from broken heart syndrome at twice the rate of women. Ladies, go easy on us. Go easy on us. We need you.
This is why all those memes and them algorithms,
We need
it
ya.
ain't cute no more. It ain't fun no more.
Look at
There's
us.
a real, I mean, we're all struggling under this, what the internet's doing, but man,
Hey, we
dudes are-
get a little bit older quicker.
if you ain't tall enough, if you ain't making enough, if you don't think you're a high value, if you buy into that culture, it's incredibly dangerous for you. So don't do it.
Do you
Just
know
go
what I
out and
heard?
try to be a human, be a good man, and everything gonna be okay.
On the backs of you saying, we're trying to be out there being. I read that apparently that getting grey hair comes from entirely just from stress. It's not actually age, and you can reverse it. It reverses naturally if you are de-stressed, so you get less stressful. People have like growing back their real coloured hair.
Really?
Yeah, it's got very little to do with genetics. I read this somewhere. I'll have to fact check it. It was on Instagram, so I will double. But I was like, oh really?
No, everything on Insta is real.
Yeah, really. So it's really just all comes down to stress. So don't stress us out either, or else we'll go grey real quick.
Nah, I kind of want to be grey.
Yeah, I do
ain't
wanna
gonna
be
lie to
grey
you.
too.
I want to be that silver fox.
You only think
I
that
get that.
because you're hella grey.
Yeah, I'm forced to be here, but I'm stuck in the middle right now.
You like, at least we're getting older, so it's like silver fox vibes soon, eh?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You at 40 with all those? Damn. Honestly,
Clooney.
hot.
But it's happened real quick.
hot.
Stress.
32 to 34.
Yeah, nah, that wasn't it.
Bro,
Eh?
I was.
I turned 35, I was like, look at me.
I'm all right.
Hey,
We're gonna be all right.
hey, look, 34, that was like, we old now.
We halfway to 70, baby. Come on, let's push.
100%. Anyway, the broken heart thing, it can be real. Don't buy into the algorithms, guys. Don't buy into the internet. Go out, work out, try and eat clean, treat others right, and everything. The right person will come into your life.
Great.
We got this. Everyone's got this. That's your Daily Break, guys. Breaking bread
With the news of today.
Unless you're ugly, then that's another problem.
Yeah.
Mahi Monday with LDV. Built to help Kiwis work harder every day.
Shift Nation, I take real pride in the year I was born.
Same.
Why?
I got you, my boy.
I don't even know why,
know
bro. You
what?
know, I stand on business for the
This
year
is
that I was born.
ridiculous behaviour. This reminds me of all the people who go to schools in Auckland all being like
Oh.
staunch
I'm
about
on
something
that, you know.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what school you went to, you losers.
Matter.
Wait,
What year
what's
you
wrong
were
with this guy?
He's worried.
losers.
I reckon he's going to change a little
No,
bit.
because if you think about the year he was born and you like, our year just makes so much sense. I feel like our year started the last of the real
Yeah, it
ones.
was the beginning of
Our year's literally the
Greatness.
last of the real ones.
failure.
Like,
You know,
it really
before that,
is.
it's a different timeline.
Like,
from
they'll write
1990
about
onwards.
us. They'll write about us in like 50 years from now when we're all like computers and lost our humanity and we're
Wait,
all
do you reckon you two will
intertwined
make
with AI.
the list?
1000%.
What you talking about? Is the Pope a Catholic? Come on, brother.
Does the
Just
Catholic
asking.
have a pope?
Just ask.
Yes.
You know what's
Because
ugly
he
though?
wore that
I
hat.
actually do ride for my birthday year.
So do
I
I.
like love it.
Mark, you
I
don't?
I love the numbers. I love the way it sounds.
And it's clean.
It's-
It's like, imagine being 1991.
What year is it? That's how old I am.
Oh, I'm a 90 baby. You know? Not a 90s baby. I'm a 90 baby.
1990.
How do you say yours, Mark? I get why you probably don't like yours, but...
We just say 81.
Paru! Oh, there's an odd number in there.
Poo.
You put those two together, it makes an odd number.
Powers, all of them.
81. Shish, you must be scrolling for a while when you do
I
this surveys.
do. I do. That's why I think it annoys me now. I've been around long enough that you have to scroll forever when you're filling out a form and you're like, ugh,
You know how I know that? Because it's starting to feel
starting to get
forever for us.
I've got to go another 10.
Like, you go like that and you're like, rude.
Still going? Rude? You mother suckers. Shout out to the 90s babies though. Shift Nation, I asked ChatGPT this. I said, who is the MVP of your birth year? Who stood on business for the year that you were born?
Not a lot of great people in 81, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I know, Mark. I don't know. So I only went back to the year 1980.
Why do I feel like, okay, just before we do this, why do I feel like 80s will have more iconic people than 90s?
Because they've got time. They got time behind them. You
Yeah,
know?
they have time to like get famous and like do everything.
I think some of ours are still
We're
working.
still, we're still blossoming at
Haven't hit
35.
their prime just yet.
I think the prime's well gone for your lot.
Come on, baby. We're just getting started.
Okay, here we go.
All right. The year 1980. Congratulations, the MVP of your birth year. Sorry. Let me just give the categories of what I asked ChatGPT as well. I said cultural impact,
Yes,
fame,
yes.
and achievements.
Okay, that's hot.
What about family? What about love?
Nah.
What about all these things that matter?
You don't have those things.
What
You
movies
don't have those
90s?
things. You give those things up if you want to be famous.
Okay.
We'll be there in 9 years.
The home
In
deteriorates.
9 years, we'll
The
feel that.
relationships deteriorate.
You've got to be the MVP.
The children find their belonging elsewhere.
Tell us what 80s. Who's the MVP for the 80s?
I was surprised. I didn't know she
1980.
was this old. 1980 belongs to Kim Kardashian.
Damn.
I know. Kim K, brother.
So she'd be 44 or 45.
We're not allowed to say it like that, bro. We can't.
Oh, so-
We're not allowed to say that.
Nah, we can.
No, we can't.
She's not going to hear it.
No.
Be good if she did though. 1981. Let's move it because this is the year that
You know
matters.
what I was thinking? Like Cindy Lauper or something. I was thinking like Diana
Madonna or
oh,
something,
Like
you know?
Madonna, Diana Ross or something. Kim.
We old, brother. Because this one surprised me too. Mark, your year, right? 1981. That's my drum roll. Beyonce.
Let's go, 81.
81's not bad, but you got the queen.
So
It's
we-
all I got, damn I'm in. It's what I found out.
We're going to go
Fuck
and
that.
overlook Justin Timberlake, Alicia Keys,
Yes, we are.
Natalie Portman,
Yes, we are.
Meghan Markle.
Yes, we are.
Like we're going
They don't
straight
have
to Beyonce.
Beehive. They don't have
Come
the
on.
Beehive.
Okay,
They
okay.
don't have the Beehive.
Okay.
You should be stoked with
I'm
the
happy
queen.
with B.
Last game's a good game.
Queen bee.
1980.
1982. Prince William. That's pretty good. Royalty. You know, that's royalty.
82, you know
can't
you're
fart
disappointed
noise
in
the
that.
Prince. You're
Wait.
not allowed to do
No, but we've just had Beyonce. And
guys-
now, come on now.
The prince. That's Diana's son, brother.
Look, here's the thing.
Yes.
82.
Come on now.
82 did the same noise as I did. They're like, oh, what? Oh, okay.
Okay, hang on. If we said it like this, 1982, Princess Diana's son, we would have been like,
Hey!
all right, say less.
1983. Carrie Underwood. Let's keep moving. Yeah, you can use that one. 1984. Scarlett Johansson. 1985.
She kisses other guys, and like calls them their friends. Have you seen that recently? No. She's on the red carpet. She has a friend.
That's an 84 thing.
And they kiss, and she's like, and he's like, they're like, if we think you can kiss on the lips, like life's too short, like it's platonic, but they fully like smooch.
Oh, I would smooch too. Frick, I would smooch. Don't get me twisted with that. 1985. Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's the greatest of the 80s. The greatest athlete ever. The greatest.
He is in amazing shape for that.
He's the greatest.
Congratulations to him. 1986, Lady Gaga. That's pretty good. Nah, she just did a show with 2 million people or whatever it is. I never. 1987, The GOAT.
The Joker too, though. Wow. Huh?
That was terrible. That was so trash. 1982 goes to the GOAT, Lionel Messi. Congratulations, Lionel Messi. You're in there. Well done, buddy.
Cristiano Ronaldo was older. That's where the GOAT was.
2 years. Yeah, there you go. 1988, we got some good ones coming up. Rihanna.
Whoo!
MVP birthyear. MVP birthyear, baby. 1988, 1989 goes to Taylor Swift.
Hey,
oh, wow.
Hey, Taylor Swift's a legend.
Taylor Swift's a good one.
See, I feel like Taylor Swift's the first actual name that would probably surpass Beyonce.
Taylor's pretty good, brother. Taylor pretty good.
I feel like, well, they're on even keel here.
You know what? If you're looking at the numbers and impact, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Obviously, we have preference in the music, but I see what you're saying. And we can't take that away from Taylor.
Now get yourself ready. 1990.
I mean, if Beyonce had the Disney Channel for the kids in the 70s, and then that whole generation grew up,
Yeah.
and just brought everything out.
Bang, bang, bang. See.
Moved it forward. 1990.
Let's see what
tell
the
you, yeah, where greatness began.
We're not allowed to name ourselves.
The one, the only, Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, dumb.
I'm going to find someone
Yeah,
better.
yours is dumb.
Nothing against...
Shame. Yours is dumb.
That's not funny. That's not funny, Mark.
99, he sucks.
Yeah, Jordan, go look it up, baby. Look it up.
Don't get much better. Kristen Stewart. Margot Robbie.
Come on, Taylor. You could have been a year later.
Nah, hold up.
Can you go on? Give me one. Give me one.
Now watch me, you. Now watch me, you. Now watch me, you. Crank that Soldier Boy, 1990.
We don't now let me.
What was 1981?
Beyonce, son. Beyonce.
Nix, what you doing? Yeah, show me something. Chat GPT, you might have sold us down the river. Jordan, can you look at Nix's over there? Hold on. We got one.
Oh!
Yeah, do something to me.
Cardinello out of the race.
Ah!
DeMarcus Cousins and Klay Thompson.
DeMarcus Cousins.
We have Draymond Green. We run out. Oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed in 90. There has to be better 90 babies. Because
You
it's
can
so
have
iconic.
Justin Timberlake if you want.
It's so shut up,
You
Mark.
can borrow some of our
shut
cool
up.
ones.
At least it sounds great. Next one. 1991, if you're a
If
91
we get
baby.
beaten by any of these 1, 2, 3, 4s, oh
They
my
got some
God.
goodies coming up. Ed Sheeran. I would take him.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I
it's
would
good.
say he's a cool white boy. I like Ed
he's
Sheeran.
great. He's part of the family.
1992, Selena Gomez.
Have that.
I'll
Have
take,
that.
yeah. 1993, Ariana Grande. Actually, nah, I don't mind Ariana.
No,
I
neither,
don't
but-
mind.
So just allow me to have a little bit of gossip here because I watched Wicked for the first time the other day. It's on Netflix.
Worth watching?
What got me was like that whole scandal. You know how her co-host Ariana, they ended up hooking up, but her co-host had a wife and just had a baby.
Yeah.
The dude, you know how like he's playing like the kind of ugly character, like the kind of guy that gets the girl. You know,
I know who you're talking about. but I
he
haven't
looks
seen
worse in real life. He looked the best on the movie. But you know how like they can dress him up to look bad and then in real life they kind of glam up? He went worse. I was like, this guy looks better now on screen, like as the character. That's crazy. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I don't like talking like that.
it. Right, that was 1993.
Ariana can sing though,
Bro, she can.
like sleeper
Some
sing.
of her features too. Woo! Her work is really good too. 19, what do we get to? 93, 1994. We're talking MVP of your birth year, Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
that's a biggie.
The Biebs is a good one. Beebs is a real good one to have.
Yeah.
While we're here, Beebs, you all good? You good, Mosul?
1995. To have two people from your family in this, highly impressive.
Oh, who would that be? 95. Family members.
Yeah, go for it. Have a think. She kick-started this whole thing. They have a story that if it was a movie, I wouldn't believe it.
Are they twins?
Nah,
No.
that would be hard.
No, don't know.
Oh, yeah, I need to. Kendall Jenner.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Kendall Jenner
Nah, they earned that.
is representing 1995. 1996, I dig it. Congratulations for your 1996. Zendaya.
Oh.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Love me some Zendaya.
Goated.
1997, the Jenners are back in here. Kylie.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna.
That's not good as you.
Back to the
Nah,
Jenners.
97
Nah.
would have some good one.
You can, well, Nix, you can borrow Britney Spears. She's one of ours as well.
Do you have Britney in
81?
81.
81 as well. Okay, I'm gonna stop this at 2001.
90 is probably the worst year.
Bro,
No,
It's
you can
up
beat this
there.
one. If
Jennifer
this one's bad,
Lawrence.
if this one's bad, then you guys don't lose the 90s.
I think 1999 is where we might get back in here. 1998, Shawn Mendes. He's a cool cat. I went to his concert live. He was actually really good. Cheers. 1999.
He just come out as bi, eh?
Yep, he probably did. Yep. 1999, Lily Reinhart.
Yeah, 99.
Yeah,
You got
no,
it.
no.
No.
Shame.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
We got two more and then we'll stop it. 2000, Willow Smith.
Damn, that hair got whipped back.
And then 2001, damn, you guys got a good one. 2001's where we're going to stop this bad boy today. Kai Cenat.
Oh, wow.
Kai Cenat takes out the year 2001.
I love the bro.
I like Kai Cenat, brother.
90, and 99. Like,
Y'all need to up
Probably
your
the worst.
game. You boys need to
Hey.
actually wave the
enough
flag
of
for your year.
Yeah, nah. Shout out to Jennifer. Eh? Shout out to Jennifer. Mark, I think you might have won that.
You want Alicia Keys?
81.
We got Alicia
What?
Keys. We got
I would
Alicia
love
Keys.
Alicia Keys.
We-
That's
we
my
had 80.
favorite
Yeah.
female artist. Anyway,
Portman?
Natalie Portman as well. Give her hair. Give her hair.
This is the morning shift.
Shift Nation, we are very honoured this morning to have the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Christopher Luxon, on the show today. Prime Minister, I wanted to start this chat by saying we think it's really important with what we do that we're able to have the opportunity to speak to the leader of our country amongst everything that's going on. And so we just want to quickly thank you for being here. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
We aren't old media in the sense, and we kind of turned the coin new media with where we are in this space of we don't have any outcomes today or answers that we want to get out of you. We just really want to have an amazing chat, get to know you a little bit more and build a relationship, because I think during your term and everything that you have to deal with and what our country is going through, we'd love to continue a relationship with you. To
Absolutely.
talk. So thank you for this morning. We really appreciate it.
No, well, thanks for the chance to come and chat with you. I appreciate just being able to have a chat and talk about stuff. It's really good.
It was awesome. You actually addressed us all by our names and you remembered, so I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed.
Is that something that's done by Matt, like your media man? Does he go, hey, this is who you're talking to, and or was this genuine a memory of coming through here when just before the elections got under?
No, genuinely from before. And, I followed you guys. I mean, sort of, you've done a brilliant job. I mean, like, I remember when you first started off, as I said to you before the show kicked off, and so I'm big fans. I know exactly who you are, so it wasn't surprising.
Well,
Yeah,
for
I showed
those
that.
overseas, because we do have a large growing audience overseas, the 42nd Prime Minister of Aotearoa, you came in 2023. For our overseas whānau, how do you introduce yourself?
Well, I mean, basically, I think of myself still not as a politician properly, to be honest. I've only been in politics for 4 years. My pathway into it's probably a bit unusual in a New Zealand sense. I haven't been a career politician. But look, it's a great privilege and a great responsibility to be able to be the Prime Minister of New Zealand. It's got some huge challenges, and but it's also hugely rewarding. And every day you get to see amazing Kiwis doing incredible things, and your job is to sort of find out what's going on and how you can help and how you can sort of improve things and push things along the right way.
We are halfway through your term now, I would say. Is it halfway to it? Are you halfway through?
Yeah, we're just halfway through. So
Yeah.
in New Zealand, we have a 3-year term, which for a lot of your American listeners will be a bit of a shock. But
Yeah.
because we're one of the few countries now that has 3-year terms, and most have 4 or 5. But halfway through, so there's still a lot more to do. But yeah, we've had to keep going.
Off the backs of that, and I implore you, because as I say, and Jordan kind of mentioned it there, I don't think we deal, especially in this studio, and me personally, I don't really deal in policy, but I do deal in emotion, and I deal in genuine, coming through. But if you look through the first half of your term, what's something that you can look at and go, without naming a policy, yeah, I'm really happy that I've been able to, or that we have achieved this, and this was a vision I had. And then on the flip side, I would love to know what is something that you look at and go, whoosh, that didn't quite go as I first thought it would, and I probably wouldn't have gone down that road again.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the first thing is I've been working really hard to lift New Zealand's profile overseas, and that's really important to us because 1 in 4 of our jobs are tied to trade. And I just sort of felt we needed to lift our urgency and our intensity with our relationships internationally. So I think that's gone really well. I've tried, there's always more to do, but, we've built relationships with China and India and, big places that are important to New Zealand. Look, there's always things that you can do better and you can sort of go back and think about it. Obviously, the Treaty Principles Bill was really, a challenging time for New Zealand. It's a function of MMP in terms of you've got 6 parties in Parliament, all with different views, different constituents, and you've got to compromise. That's the system that we work within. For a lot of, again, your overseas listeners, they sort of, it's a different political system than, say, first past the post or a presidential system, and it just requires that parties have got to come together, form a government, and there's got to be some compromise in all of that, and that's challenging. So that's probably the thing that's been certainly the most challenging, I think, in the last 18 months.
You just said something that obviously sparks the ears of a lot of our audience, because we do have a large chunk of our community would be Māori and Pacifica, and I think a large percentage of people have felt a bit targeted. They've felt not necessarily by you and your government, but because it's a coalition, they have felt a bit targeted, and it would be remiss of us not to have a little talk on that itself, because I felt if it was me and I had to make that deal to get a coalition going, the idea behind the Treaty Principles Bill and how, and this is just my opinion, and this is the great thing about our platform is we get to have this and we can be honest with it, it just felt a bit crude. It felt really crudely done, and so when it actually, the even fact that it made it as a policy, when it became, even something we were talking about, and the most important part in our country being the government, they were even discussing it, made me go, oh man, this is, and I don't know, are you there? Have you understood that? How even the fact that it got in, and there was even being discussed, was too much for so many people?
Well, I'll just say, take a step back, right? We've got a mixed member proportional system in New Zealand, right? So you cannot form a government without going into coalition with other parties. 100%. It's what we have in Western Europe. Go look at Western Europe. There's 4-party coalitions. There's 6-party coalitions. There's also that's the reality of it. So you've got 6 parties in the New Zealand Parliament, all with quite different constituents. Mm-hmm. You've got a party like mine that's what we call centre-right, centre being the operative kind of word. And then we end up forming a government with 2 other parties. And each of those parties have different policies and different ideas that talk to their constituents and they believe in very strongly. We were pretty clear from the beginning. We'd let this thing go through what's called first reading.
And that's where, sorry to interrupt you. That's where I feel like that's the thing. Yep. Even having that was too much for a lot, and it felt too much for me. And to be fair, I'm still on my journey of Te Ao Māori. Like I'm excited to learn more. I want to be a part of it, but it felt like just even seeding that was enough for me to be like, nah, man, because that to me was too far. And I feel like there are a few people who'll be listening right now that have that same sentiment.
So I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Cool.
Yeah, I get
and
it.
I
really get it. There'll be people, that are uncomfortable with what we did, and I get it. There's, as I said, the way we had to deal with it was a compromise. I didn't get what I wanted. The ACT Party in this case didn't get what they wanted. We had to find a compromise. I know that was challenging for many people as a consequence. But equally, go the other side, Te Pāti Māori would quite like a separate parliament. Do you think that's going to fly when they propose that idea and part of another coalition government in the future, say? So I'm not saying that it's, there's difference, that's the reality of the system that we're in. And go look at the Western European governments when they have these compromises where they have to tolerate combinations of parties that have got very radically different ideas, and it's just a function of a maturing MMP environment. So,
does it feel a bit like organising dysfunctional kids at times? Like that's the impression you get from the outside looking in.
Because Prime Minister, when I watch the Parliament arguments, that's what it sounds
you
like.
Might think that I couldn't possibly comment.
How are you a father? Well, we're all dads. We've all had these arguments.
I just left my kids at home. No.
No, but it is really challenging, right? I mean, because you're in the people business, and the system is the system. New Zealanders have voted for the system, now 2 or 3 times. Whether you like it or don't like it, it doesn't really matter. You've got to try and make it work. And it's the same for any government that's trying to form with coalition partners, which is the reality of what will happen going forward, because that's just the maturing MMP environment.
So, Prime Minister, you feel that you just said before you get it. And so when I hear those words, what I hear you potentially saying is you can empathise that when you are Māori, as difficult when you are Māori and you see an ethos, you see yourself in the world that is different to someone who isn't, and they don't see the world like that. So on top of having to deal with a financial crisis, inflation, and then have a bill that you have to go out and walk the streets and show your democracy, and on top of things already being hard, you can empathise that.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
Yep, I understand it. I really understand it, and I understand why people how they feel about that, and why they would think we did that wrong or I did that wrong. I get all that. I'm just trying to give you, if you're sitting in my shoes. Yeah. And you're dealing with a system, which is that you've got to form a government. That's what the New Zealand people ask us to do. You've got to deal with compromise. You may not like the compromises. I didn't like them. It wasn't my position. I said very clearly up front we would kill the bill ultimately, which we did do. You did. As we did exactly what we said we would do. But I understand it still causes concern for people. I just say the other thing though, if you want to talk about outcomes for Māori, I think Māori have not been well served. What happened with respect to the economic mismanagement that caused massive inflation, massive rise in interest rates, put the economy into recession, put lower middle income working New Zealanders up and down this country into a lot of pain. That's not right. If you care about lower middle income working people, you run the economy well. You don't run up your debt 3 times and cause a massive amount of inflation. And the cost of living's out of control for people. Even today, we've made some good progress. We're cleaning it up. But the bottom line is, man, you're just trying to get from shop to shop a countdown, right? I mean, it's really, really tough.
Speaking of countdown, sorry to interrupt.
Absolutely.
I cannot move past this. Why is cheese so expensive? Why is butter still so expensive? What's happening? Can we stop exporting everything and then going off those prices? I get we need a good economy, but can we look after our own at some point too? I know that there's more to it than that, but yeah.
My answer changes every time and I can't figure it out. So promise.
It's really expensive, right? If you look at the price of butter, if you look at the price of cheese, I mean, at one point we had cheese close to $20 a block. We make the best cheese in the world. What's happening is that globally there's huge demand for our dairy products. As a result, dairy prices have gone through, have actually gone up, which is good for our farmers and good for our people who are producing all that product and the dairy products. And that's the global prices that end up coming back into the market. But I agree with you. Sort of intuitively, you sit at it and go, man, butter and cheese are so expensive. Why is that? We make it here in New Zealand. How can we end up having to pay the global price for it, essentially, which is what's happening around the world?
Would you set up something where it was, look, you're allowed to export, say, 80% of the butter, but 20% has to be kept at a reasonable price for the New Zealand market? Or is that overstepping your mark as a government?
It just gets really hard, right? Because there's lots of ideas like that, and people say, why can't you take GST off food, and why can't you do a bunch of different things? You end up with massive amounts of complexity, right? And massive amounts of bureaucracy, and the cost of actually trying to administer all of that and that difference is why successive governments, Labor, National, whatever, have actually kept that stuff the same.
Right.
So it's hard to make those interventions, but what we've got to do is get more competition into the supermarket sector. We've got to make sure our insurances, our rates, our food, the banking costs, all those sorts of things, we keep putting downward pressure on.
What is the complexity? Because that is something that, I'm sure you sit there as the Prime Minister, because I know that you are out with the people.
Yep.
You go out and you see the people. You see the lower middle class. You see where people are struggling, and I know that in your heart you would make things right. So when you say the complexity, there becomes like this. It sounds like something, right? But I know that it is complex. Could you just unpack in a simple way what one of those things? Because I believe you, Prime Minister.
So you think about, you buy a cake at a supermarket, right? Well, which part does or doesn't attract GST within the ingredients of that cake, But all of a sudden you're into those kind of complex sort of, conversations very, very quickly. So the thing that we have to do, which is why we've got so much pain and suffering and why people are doing it really tough, without getting too political on you, the last government, frankly, didn't manage the economy. They literally let our debt go. I spent $10 billion in interest payments That is more money than I spend on police, customs, corrections, the whole justice system combined. And that is money that I now pay out to someone internationally that I get nothing for.
And to be
That's
fair, we don't criticise them, the
No,
government like that in the way that we probably should.
Well, I just think that's the point I'm trying to make, is that if you really cared about lower middle income working New Zealanders, you damn well run the economy well, because that's what causes the pain and suffering is inflation.
So what
people lost their jobs last year at mills that were working blimmin' hard because of the oil and gas ban not being managed properly and thought through. So that's an example. If you want to go into policy and the implications of it, we can discuss treaty principles bills, but actually I think for Māori, well, how are we going to improve educational outcomes? Well, we've just produced all our maths curriculum in Te Reo. We've got investments going into kura up and down this country because we want Māori and non-Māori kids to be able to access high-paying jobs in the future. But that requires them to go to school, do maths, do reading, and get that job done well. That's matters. That's outcomes, right? That's going to change things.
So when you talk about, this is good for our dairy farmers, the price of butter and milk and cheese and what have you. And I did see the other day that Angus beef is going through the roof as well. Like it's good for our farmers. Explain it past the point what a good economy does to, say, the likes of me, who has to go and pay $10, 12, $15 for a block of cheese, $18 for a thing of butter. Like, how does it go full circle? Why is it good for me that the farmers are winning right now? When do I get to win?
Well, basically what happens is that if you think about it, so our farmers went through a really difficult time. We've been able to drive the price of, we've been able to drive dairy and meat and kiwi fruit, and all those products have been selling around the world. Going well in Europe, going well in the UK, Asia, North America, etc. Now all of a sudden we've got more money coming back home into the New Zealand economy, and as a result, those farmers, for example, will start spending in regional New Zealand. That creates an opportunity for someone to start a cafe. That creates an opportunity for someone to actually earn an income. And that's just the money gets spent back into the economy, and that's what we're trying to do, is get that money spending, because ultimately the flow-through effect is that we have rural communities that are doing well, which means we've got people wanting to choose to live there, which means that we get jobs for teachers. We need more nurses and doctors in rural communities. All those, it just the flow-on effect of activity in the economy creates opportunity for everybody ultimately.
Absolutely. I don't mean to change the line of questioning, but Prime Minister, we are fathers here. We got kids. I've actually got a five-week-year-old. I had a newborn.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. There's four boys
You're looking really relaxed,
Thank
mate.
you, Prime Minister.
Yeah, a little too relaxed, if I'm being honest.
And so more than ever now, I feel like my world is kind of like, okay, wake up, make the lunches, drop school, get the kids to school, get to work, make sure we're firing on all cylinders. Prime Minister, how are you doing in terms of the other
parenting,
more important roles in your life, whilst having the most important role in New Zealand with your family, being a husband?
Yeah, look, I'm really lucky because Amanda and I met when we were 15 and dating at 19 and married at 23.
Wow.
And then for us, actually, we went overseas at 24 and I was out of the country for 16 years. I was in Sydney and London and Chicago and Toronto and New York. And so we didn't have a lot of family network around us. So as a couple, we kind of had to work out, as we had these kids, one in Australia, one in the UK, but raised in
18.
America. Yeah, and how we had to work together as a team. And so that sort of preparation actually prepares you for an extreme job like this, where you are working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's the key thing, is you want to leave this job with your relationship even stronger than it was when you went into it. I think Amanda and I have always thought about parenting in quite a different way, which is, you get the brand new baby like you've just got, that's very dependent upon you, and your job as a parent is to produce one healthy, happy, whole individual. Yeah. And so we've always had this view, 0 to 5, we're actually sort of caretakers. 5 to 12, we're cops laying down some boundaries. 12 to 18, we moved to coach mode. Yeah. And at 18, we've kind of taught you everything you need to know. So now we move to 24/7 consultants. Yeah. And so, and it's sort of the metaphor I always used to say with the kids was, it's like, we're down at the beach and we've got to make sure, at 0 to 5, we're making sure you don't drown and fall over in the water and keeping you safe. And then 5 to 12, we say, okay, you can get in the kayak, but you've got to stay within the buoys, within the bay. And then at 12 to 18, 13 to 18, teenage life, everyone wants to go sail their own boat around the Pacific Ocean. But it's like, mate, we've got to get through the harbour. There's some rocks. There's some things to talk about parties, girls, boys, character issues. So I want to be on that boat, but I don't want to be driving it. I don't want to be pushed off it. I want to jump off it. I'll help and coach you through it. And then on the other side, now you sail your own boat and come home when you want to and check in with us. And if you've done that job right and built that emotional connection to the kids through the teenage period, you know, I've got my 23 and a 25-year-old, and so the 23-year-old's overseas, and she'll call me and her flatmates and want some advice about dating some guys, and you know, there'll be all sorts of advice. That
there's no dating.
No, there's no dating. Yeah, I think, but you know, it's quite cool. You know, that they actually want to talk to you and get your advice on things, and it's take it or leave it as you wish. But you know, so that's the way Amanda and I thought about the parenting journey, and that's certainly the most challenging job you've got to do, and certainly the most rewarding one at the same time.
What was the last thing you and Amanda argued about? Like, what did she tell you off for? Make us all feel human here.
Yeah, to be honest,
because we've been getting told off.
We've been getting told off all the time.
I was going so well until someone took a photo of me at McDonald's the other day and put it on Reddit, because my wife is a fitness freak.
Yes.
And I was. And with this job, I haven't quite integrated my fitness regime into this job yet. I got to work harder at that. But I was, you know, she says no, and you know, she'll say to my team, please don't take them to McDonald's. And I often think it's a campaign stop or something, but I do, because I worked at, because McDonald's was a treat in my family. I was allowed to go sort of maybe every second year, take one mate to a birthday to Macca's, and then I got a job at McDonald's, which I loved, for 4 years while I was at high school. And then so for me, getting
Did you steal a burger? Be honest.
Did I steal
just
it?
a fry?
I didn't steal one, no, but I would, you got, you know, staff rates, and you sort of blow your,
I got you.
You sort of work.
What's your Macca's order, Prime Minister?
It's very simple. It's a quarter pounder, large fries, and a chocolate shake.
There he goes. There he goes.
So it's not great, to be honest, Mark, when you sort of, your wife sees pictures of you at Macca's after you've said, honey, I'm not there.
Oh, man, I was expecting something like as lame as like, oh, you keep leaving your socks lying around or something like that, but you're getting snapped at McDonald's.
We don't actually have any major sort of disagreements or arguments. We're pretty good because when we were dating for 4 years, we had 3 years out of each other, out in different cities. So we got really good at communication as a result. So so we're pretty straightforward on that.
Love that. I guess one of my last questions, Prime Minister, looking to the future, what's something that you wish more New Zealanders understood about you?
Well, I mean, I think it's hard, right, for them to get a sense sometimes of who you are, and particularly when you've come into politics. You know, I came in just 4 years ago, and I've come in through very, very quickly. I mean, I want them to know that I feel like incredibly optimistic about the future for New Zealand. You know, I sit here, I have lived and worked all over the world. My job, I get to go. I've just come back from Europe and China, and you come back home and go, yep, I know we've got challenges and tensions at home, and I get all of that, as we've just talked about some of that stuff. But compared to other countries around the world, man, we have got it more right than wrong. And so the question is, how do we unify as community, as business, as government, and work together on the opportunities that we've actually got out there in the world? And I think we've got a fantastic future. We're bang smack in the middle of the most exciting region in the world. We've got lots of natural resources, we've got good institutions, but we've got incredible, amazing, talented people that are world class. And, you know, as someone who left New Zealand and I had to go work overseas, and often, sometimes as New Zealand, you sort of feel, am I good enough compared to those Swiss Americans or those really brash and direct Australians? Yeah, man, we're world class. Yeah, we can go take on the world and do whatever we want to do. So we've got a great future ahead of us, and I want us to really realise all the potential that sits in this awesome country. So that's why I came to politics, frankly, 4 years ago. I don't need to do the job. I choose to do this job because I actually think we've got an awesome future, and that's what I'm trying to create as the future possibilities for all of us, really.
I've got a couple of things to finish with too, Mr. Luxon. I feel like my algorithm is it's going to be outed here, especially on IG, because for some reason I'm fed a lot of American politics, and part of the treat of being fed American politics is the idea that the world is ending, and that one of the few places on this earth that would last if someone decided to fire the first nuke would be New Zealand. There's been so many videos put out there where they've did the top 10 countries to live in. I think now's a good time for you to be able to say to people, look, don't come to New Zealand. Don't bring your fights here. No. It's good.
Well, actually, that's actually what I do say, because we have a lot of New Zealanders that want to come and join New Zealand, and that's awesome. But actually what I do say publicly to a lot of them is don't bring your domestic politics from overseas to New Zealand, please.
It feels a bit like that at the moment, though, right? Like, from a global view, we're actually, as much as, I guess, COVID also helped us in this instance, the isolation is actually quite a nice thing.
Yeah, we have, the technology actually connects us into the world, but the geographical isolation has actually got us away from a lot of hotspots. If you're in Europe dealing with Ukraine, if you're in the Middle East, you've seen some incredible polarization of politics in other countries around the world. That's why I say I think, I appreciate we've got our challenges here at home as well. I'm not being naive about that, but I just say relatively, I think we should be really clear about we've got an awesome future and we can, in unity work together. It doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything. Yes, we're going to have some real conversations with each other, but man, we've got a great future.
Just speaking, our economy does need some injection of cash. Can we get you on record saying if a billionaire, because we are the safest place here, wants to build a bunker here, that you'll charge them 100 million, just to build something here? Because we've been wondering what they're getting to now. I'm kidding.
And you'll go out to the airport and welcome them here, will you? So, click the fee for us, yeah.
Don't they land direct? They land direct. Just really quickly, you talked about our future looking bright. I think, again, remiss of me not to recognise the fact that our community does have a strong Māori Pacifica view. How important do you see Māori in that future? And I guess being in the unique position of being overseas and seeing how the culture is received by people who don't have that enriched, beautiful side to their country, we have that uniqueness. So how, in your vision, do Māori, are they included?
Oh, absolutely. And I think Māori can do exceptionally well, actually, particularly well, actually, into the future. I mean, every time I go overseas, I take one of our kapa haka teams. I took our Te Matatini winners this year up to China. And I used to go on delegations overseas with former prime ministers and in my old life. And it's amazing, There's something spiritual that sort of unlocks when you can actually connect Māori culture out to other cultures. There's a real opening that's created, I think, and as a result what I've observed is Māori businesses in particular actually outperforming, I think, non-Māori businesses in their connections and their partnerships and their ability to form partnerships because it's values driven, right, as we all know. So I'm incredibly proud of that. It's a great unlocker and opener and differentiator for New Zealand that makes us different, but also opens hearts, I think, in some special way. There's something special in alchemy that happens when I see that offshore. And the second thing I'd say is, like, I spend a lot of time with iwi leaders, and just, despite all the stuff we've talked about before around treaty principles bills, we've still continued in dialogue privately, and we're actually talking a lot about economic opportunities. And if you look at Waikato Tainui, you look at Ngāi Tahu, these are some of the most sophisticated businesses and organisations we have in the country, run by outstanding people. Really great talent, and they're doing partnerships with big global firms to actually create opportunity for their people and for their iwi. So I just think the world's a huge opportunity for Māori as well, and I think they can do exceptionally well, and going forward from here, no doubt about it.
That's exciting to hear. Now all I'm waiting to do is just waiting for the farmers to start spending that money that I am not having to buy the butter. But no, thank you so much, for your time, man. It's been awesome to have you in.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and congratulations on what you're doing. It's awesome.
Mahi Monday with LDV, built to help Kiwis work harder every day.
LDV, baby. Whoop, whoop. That is a show for your Monday. Hey, we haven't really announced. We kind of have. We're going to Australia.
We're
going to Australia, guys. We can't say for what exactly yet, but we'll be in Australia the rest of the week from Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all a bit of a blur at the moment.
It is a blur.
Aussie, we on ways, baby. We
are on ways. Doing ourselves a little recce come, just before we'll be headed over for our live shows. Another quick shout out to everybody who's gone out and purchased tickets. We know how tough times are. We appreciate you spending your hard-earned cash on creating an event with us. We're going to have a moment. We're going to have a moment with everybody and everyone who comes along, and I can't wait. So thank you. Appreciation shown from me to you.
Love you guys. That is a show. Check on your people. See you tomorrow.
This is The Shift.